Even Cristiano Ronaldo himself.
Yeah.
At Manchester United, if he stayed at Manchester United, I don't think he would have been the player he is today.
He would.
I don't think he would have been.
I'm not saying he would still have been world class. He would have still won Ballon d'Ors. But he's a better player. I'm saying now he's 34, of course, but he was a better player in his prime Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Than he would have been for me if he had stayed.
He was always going to be that good. He was always going to be that good. The guy scored 42 goals in the season.
Yeah, I know that, but
he scored 42 goals in the season.
If he got 40 goals now,
and he was in the Premier League where everyone said it was a lot tougher.
If he scored 42 goals, or even a couple of years ago, it'd be like, a bit of an average season. He's raised the bar.
He's now 50s.
But wait, he would have raised that bar at Man United.
This is the Neeks Sports Podcast. It's our first podcast, and it's going to be a weekly debate on all platforms: YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and any other one that our producer here, Javern, can figure out is the best place for you lot to hear our views on football, cricket, anyone, Formula One, athletics, boxing, and all the sports that we know and love here in this country. Today I'm joined by Ramon, Kyle, and Javern. We've got a lot to discuss. And obviously, as you know, the topics I want to talk about obviously today, Premier League title race. We're 10 games in. I would say just over a quarter of the season gone. So I think we can kind of get a gauge about where the title could end up or who's in the race anyway. England national team. There's a lot of talk about what Gareth Southgate's doing for England and the sale or not sale of Wembley and the money that could be left for grassroots football. And obviously the players available to Gareth Southgate, those specifically playing abroad. And finally, we are recording this on a Sunday, so as we speak, Lewis Hamilton is on course to win his 5th Drivers' Championship. And the question we're asking, where does Hamilton rank among the all-time greats? But we'll get there. I know, Kyle, you're itching to talk about it, but we'll get there. But first, before we start, actually, I just want to pay the respects to all the people that's involved in a few of the tragedies that we've had over the weekend. Glenn Hoddle being rushed to hospital for a heart attack. We had an elderly Brighton fan who died at the ground on Saturday, and of course the crash of the helicopter outside the Leicester City stadium. So we just hope that all involved and families, etc., we pray for them, keep them in our thoughts. We've had 2 international breaks so far this season, come out of a World Cup. Brilliant World Cup for me. I think it was one of the best World Cups in my memory anyway. I think for me, the World Cup that probably stands out the most is 2002. There were a lot of upsets within that World Cup. South Korea getting to, I think they came third actually in the end. No, sorry, I think they came fourth actually. But they got into the third place playoff. Brazil won it, Ronaldo, etc. But since then, I would say for me, this is probably the best World Cup I've seen. And even though I wasn't supporting England, it may have something to do with how far.
Are you saying best World Cup in general, or for England?
No, just in general. That I've seen. All the different, aspects of it, whether it's the amount of goals scored, the type of football. Because I think we've had some poor World Cups of recent. The South Africa World Cup, in terms of what's on the pitch, that was poor. I know Spain won it, but it was boring for me. The 2014 World Cup, but fair enough, it was back in Brazil. They say the home of football, whatever you want to call it, but. That 7-1
that was very exciting.
That 7-1
That's sick. That makes it sick.
I know exactly. Half of that World Cup was brilliant.
Smash 7-1 in the backyard. Mad.
The worst part about it is they all blame one player. I don't know how you can blame one player.
Yeah. No, you can't.
Shocking.
But it was a combination of things, isn't it? But for me anyway, it's just a lot of different stuff. The fact that everyone went into that World Cup and it was like, Russia. It's got, Putin, this and racism down, homophobia and it's got violent, and there was none of that. Now obviously I'm not saying those things don't exist, but they did if it does exist to the extent everyone says, they've done a very good job in covering it up for that period. But it was a brilliant World Cup for me. And I said, as England's performance be living in England probably added to kind of the excitement, because there was a lot of, World Cup fever in this country, which usually when the last couple of World Cups, group stages out, maybe last 16 quarters.
Towards the end.
Yeah, exactly. So that fever, it just kept going. Everywhere you was still World Cup. And since then, there've been, the Nations League, England's beaten Spain, brilliant performance in that. And there's a lot of talk about, the grassroots football in England. There was supposed to be the sale of Wembley, which was 600 million to I want to say Saeed Khan, but I don't know if that's his first name. Is it Saeed?
No,
the Fulham owner. And that was about 600 million that was supposed to go back. Shahid Khan, that was supposed to go back into grassroots football. And there was mixed reviews about that. But we know that there's a lot of English players in the past who haven't gone abroad for whatever reason. Some have: Beckham, Woodgate, McManaman, Owen, to name 4 who played for Real Madrid. But majority of times English players stay in England. But there are some examples of people this year. Jadon Sancho, who's having a brilliant time out at Borussia Dortmund. Yep. There's Reece Nelson, who's is on loan to Hoffenheim, and he's doing pretty well as well.
Yeah.
And there is a number of others actually through Europe, Serie A, Ligue 1. Shea Ojo, I think he's at the Liverpool. Yeah, the ex-Liverpool. Liverpool. He's over in France as well. Is it important, especially for this generation coming up, and maybe the way football has developed in terms of the style of play and all that kind of stuff, that for England's national team to progress and be successful, that their players play in other countries, or is playing in England with other foreign players enough? That's really the question I want to ask.
I think for me, England should be pushing or trying to send their players out more often, because you learn a lot more. You grow up a lot different, and you learn even languages, lifestyle, a culture. Sitting in a dressing room with 22 different people who don't speak your language as a first language is mad and daunting. I remember Paul Ince was talking about it the other day when he went to Inter Milan. It was mad for him. He didn't know what to do, didn't know where to settle, where to look, because he couldn't eat for 3 months at least. He couldn't even barely have a conversation with someone in a new environment. All you got to do is just play football, do your talking on the pitch. And I think if you look at, let's just take one random example at the year France at the World Cup. The amount of players that they have playing all over the league, and we don't even think much of it. The fact that Pogba is one of their best players, he's over here just doing the madness in England. Imagine that. Imagine England's best player, Harry Kane, was in Real Madrid scoring 40 goals in a season, doing things like crazy things. We'll be like, this is it. He's gone somewhere else, and he's done crazy things out there. And I think England, not even just at grassroots level, but going forward, players should be thinking, right, okay, I supported Spurs when I was growing up, or I supported Arsenal when I was growing up, and I'm good here, but I want to be challenging. I want to be winning Champions Leagues. If I'm one of the best players in the world, and I'm not picking on Harry Kane, I'm saying in general, all of them, if I want to be winning Champions Leagues, or looking at my career saying, I could have been the best player in the world at one point, then surely there's a level you can go with certain clubs. And for me, English players don't take the risk of leaving their own home comforts, whether it's their home team.
But they would leave, like, maybe not, we don't know in it, but Harry Kane, you would think, as other English players have, they would leave Tottenham to go Manchester United. Michael Carrick is one, Berbatov, obviously he's not English, but they would leave for other big clubs in the country. But is that the same as leaving to go to, is that good?
No.
If Man United can win the Champions League, or Man City can win the Champions League, is that not good enough?
It's understandable to step up a level, and I think any level step up is obviously a good thing. But you need to, for me, go somewhere where you definitely are going to be stepping up. Like if Harry Kane goes to Manchester United, for example, where Manchester United are right now, it's going to be so difficult for them to be bringing that whole squad up to be winning Champions League based on this one person, because of the way they are playing at the moment. Step up to, okay, if you go Man City, fair enough. Then maybe they could be pushing for the big honours. But in realistic terms, why not go to a Barcelona or Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, like where they are progressive, where they are winning leagues year in, year out. Okay, we say it's a fancy league that Bayern win it every year, whatever. PSG win it every year. But Neymar's going there, and he's one of the best players in the world. He's going there to pick up trophies. He's going to look back on his career like, you know what, man, bagged two. I didn't win Champions League at PSG, maybe I did, but I bagged 2 league titles, and I might keep it moving again, because that's what they do. All they want to do is hungry to win trophies as much. And I think English players, whether that's in here or abroad, should be hungry to be going to win trophies. And the league here is mad. There's 6 teams that can win the Premier League here.
I don't know, man. I think some of them are greedy for the money, because Neymar was winning trophies where he was at.
Yeah,
he was winning.
But
he couldn't have left for trophies.
Yeah, but
it's either money or being the star player. It's one of the two.
Barcelona
couldn't have been leaving for trophies.
When Neymar left Barcelona, they weren't guaranteed to win La Liga because Ronaldo's there.
No,
they weren't winning the Champions League. And this is the thing, Neymar's gone.
He won a Champions League there.
No, but they weren't at the time. And he's
not going to win Champions League.
No, but at the time that he left, at the time that he left,
yeah.
We don't know what he's in. But for me, we believe it's to get out of.
I guarantee you, if he never left Barcelona, Real Madrid would have never won 3 Champions Leagues in a row.
You can't guarantee that. You can't guarantee that. You can't guarantee that.
You can't take Ronaldo, Modric, Ramos all out of that equation and just say, that's going to happen. You can't say that, man.
You can't guarantee that.
But there's a hunger that he had to go and do something else. Maybe even if it is getting a league title in a different country. Maybe even if it's just that. Even if it was just that, and that's obviously one part of it, but it's a hunger to improve and go somewhere else to show how good you are. And we obviously, the main thing we all probably look at is that he wanted to be better than Messi and go somewhere where Messi and Ronaldo are not there,
and they're not like
but why can't you look at some players and just applaud them for the loyalty? Like Tottenham made Harry Kane who he is. Why should he just leave?
So
why not help them win the stuff that you want to win? Because if you look back, right, people like Gerrard and Lampard, faithful people look at them and say,
what is Gerrard looking back at his career saying? He's saying, I won
Premier League.
Exactly. But the Premier League is the one he won.
He won Champions League, the biggest.
I guarantee you, Steven Gerrard would have rather a Premier League than a Champions League medal.
Everything also. How did that benefit England? How did it benefit England? All the English players actually playing in England.
It didn't.
Loyalty.
Loyalty didn't benefit England. We don't know.
But I'm not talking about going abroad at like 24 or 25. We're talking about going abroad from when you're 16, 17, learning the trade. Learning the trade.
It doesn't matter when, because
obviously you're gonna have some that go abroad and you're gonna have some that stay.
Yeah.
Well,
Harry Kane shouldn't just now go abroad. He's not going to get any better. He may get better, but he's not going to change. He's thinking or understanding the football isn't going to change. From 25 years old.
Harry Kane can
improve. But he's not going to change as a player. He's not going to change as a player.
Look at Bale when he went at Spurs and now. And I'm not saying he wasn't a brilliant player. No, he's not. No, he's not.
The levels is mad now, Kyle. He went nah.
He did a thing.
His last year at Spurs was
You don't remember against Inter?
I do remember.
But he's better than that now.
Of course he is.
He's better than that now. He's not doing that in Champions League finals. And he did it. And you know when he ripped up that Barca defender in the Copa del Rey.
Was it Jordi Alba?
When he
ran off the pitch?
It was. I think it might
he ran off the pitch? I'm sure that was Jordi Alba. I think it was.
He knocked the ball.
Yeah, ran off the pitch. Ran
levels. He was doing it at Spurs.
No, but Kyle, he's not the same player. And I think that even if you leave at 25 or 26,
but when I say he's the same, when I say you're
training with Ronaldo every day, you're training with Messi. You're not that you've got Ali and Eriksen at Spurs.
I know. But when I say he's the same player, right? I mean, he's the same style of player, but the way he plays is the same. But he's just perfected what he's done. But he would have perfected that at Spurs.
No.
Yes, he would have.
I don't think he would be as good as he is now if he stayed at Spurs.
Yeah, I agree.
Because he's not. You're playing with people like Ronaldo, for example. So Ronaldo's practicing free kicks every day of training, for example. You're like, all right, let me practice as well. They bring you up a level.
Wait, but how did Ronaldo get that good?
I'm just saying, for example,
who did he practice with? Who did he practice with?
Let me finish. And then Ronaldo does a thing maybe where he cuts in.
Yeah.
Or a certain you pick up different traits. Or you play with people like Modric and Cruz who you know that if you make that run,
Yeah.
they're gonna find you that pass. So that run now becomes instinct. I'm just gonna move to the back post because that pass is always gonna come. Whereas if he was at Spurs, where he's not the only, but he's like the proper main man. He doesn't have to learn the intricacies because it's like, just give me the ball and I'm going to try. Because in that season, it was like, give me the ball, I just pick it up and bang from 30
Yeah.
40 yards.
You learn
a lot of different stuff.
Different way to play.
And it's a
even
different
Cristiano
style of
Ronaldo,
play.
even Cristiano Ronaldo himself.
Yeah.
At Manchester United, if he stayed at Manchester United, I don't think he would have been the player he is today.
He would.
I don't think he would have been.
I'm not saying he would still have been world class. He would have still won Ballon d'Ors. But he's a better player. I'm saying now he's 34, of course, but he was a better player in his prime Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Than he would have been for me if he had stayed.
He was always
going to
be that good. He was
No,
always going to be that good. The guy scored 42 goals in the season.
Yeah, I know that, but
he scored 42 goals in the season.
If he got 40 goals now,
and he was in the Premier League where everyone said it was a lot tougher.
If he scored 42 goals, or even a couple of years ago, it'd be like, a bit of an average season. He's raised the bar.
He's now on 50s.
But wait, he would have raised that bar at Man United.
I don't know.
He would have raised that bar at Man United.
We
don't know, but it's a different. Because even Santa plays a different mentality, it's a different pressure. Playing for Real Madrid, it's a different pressure that he's now had to take that on now. It's like,
because that's like
saying, win the Champions League every year.
That's like saying, if Messi had left at 23, 24 to go PSG, right, and he became the player that we saw at Barcelona, and be like, oh, because he left and learned so and so and so and so, and he was playing with so and so and so and so at PSG or whatever club, he went to Man United or he went to whatever club, right, whatever huge club at the time, right, he left. He wouldn't have been that player at Barcelona. No, but he stayed there pretty much his entire career. There's at
Messi
17
might have
years
even
old.
been better.
You don't know.
These players were always
They're a
destined
different
to be
culture.
this great, this good. Ronaldo was always going to be that good.
I don't think you can just say. Are you saying there's no benefit to him having moved to Ronaldo as a person, that he hasn't benefited?
No, there was no.
And let me give you an example.
Apart from a bigger paycheck,
and then playing against as your direct competitor being Lionel Messi, then the other best player in the world. That's another, like, you raise your level again. It's like we're in the same league, we're competing for all the same trophies now. He's banged a hat trick, I had to bang a hat trick. I don't like we've seen that over the years where one man's banged 2 and the next day that one banged 3.
You know it, Carl.
And for me, being in the same league with
playing the El Clasico.
Yeah, it's
them 2 games of the season.
For me, you lift your whole level because your direct competitor is there.
But he would have done the same when he was playing against Manchester City.
But who in Man City is comparable to Messi?
What? It's not about who's comparable. We're talking about playing direct, but the Manchester derby.
But I'm talking about direct person. And even then, Man United, Man City ain't even our biggest derby, so we can forget that anyway.
Listen,
it would have been Gareth Bale because he would have stayed.
Even Thierry Henry himself, he even said when he left Arsenal to go play under Pep Guardiola,
as late as
he did, then he learned a whole new way of playing football. And you could maybe say he would have learned under Pep if Pep came here or whatever, fair enough. But what Pep was doing with him, playing with Messi, was and Thierry Henry at that time, Iniesta, Thierry Henry at the time was pushing Ballon d'Or, world player of the year, didn't win it, but he was up there, as one of the best strikers in the world at the time. He learned. He himself said, if I weren't playing in a certain position on the pitch, Pep would get angry at me. He'll tell me to move here, or I'm sitting on the bench that day and I'm listening to Pep. Now, this is one of the best strikers in the world, learning a whole new culture of how to play football. That for me is mad. When I heard that, I thought, you know what? Moving abroad is mad. It changes your whole mindset. If Henry stayed at Arsenal, he would never have learnt the stuff he learnt at Barcelona, and that might even make him a better coach going forward.
No.
And it also
I agree.
goes to what Ramon said earlier in terms of you go to a new country, you got no friends, new language. You're like, oh shit, like where am I at?
Yeah.
Where am I now? So you're gonna have to up your game. You're gonna have to, try on this. You gotta do what.
I'm agreeing because I've been saying it for ages that the English players, they need to leave and they need to go not even just to like one league but to different leagues to learn different trades. So you have different players that have different traits and can do different things and have a different mindset in different positions. 100%. But I don't think leaving at like 25, 26 is going to help the cause. You need to start them from young. I mean, it was one of the first things that Pep said when he came to Manchester City. He said that for England to be successful, their players are going to have to go abroad.
So why didn't you let Phil Foden go then? But you want to keep him though.
But Patrick Robertson.
But I also believe if you can bring the culture to them, then that can work. It's the same. Because look, if you look at because if
your comforts are still here, your mum's down the road, your brothers are here.
But that has nothing to do with it, man.
It does, bro.
It does.
Because if you look at
it's a style of play.
If you look at Sterling, Pep has transformed Sterling, right? He's an English player. The coach has been brought to him. He's saying Henry learned so many things under Pep. But Pep's come here now, and he's teaching John Stones. Kyle Walker even looks different than when he was at Spurs.
Yeah,
he said already when he came to Manchester City, stuff that Pep was telling him, he had never heard at Tottenham. He's learning so many new things playing under Pep. When the first season that when he came, that was what Kyle Walker said. So many English players learn new things under Pep, right? So if you can bring the coach to them, it can work. Why not?
But when Pep goes, then what? Then you're just gonna wait till someone else takes over who's gonna be another Englishman, and you're not gonna broaden your. For me, I hear that, and I agree. And the English Premier League is bringing so many more foreign managers and players over here that players will develop a new style of football. But you're still going against West Brom and Stoke and Swansea and Everton, the same teams every week. You're playing against the same guys you played against 5 years ago. Coleman's still there. You're still running that Coleman. He's still there. You're not running at Jordi Alba and Marcelo to try and see how Sterling will play against them.
The reason why I think it's important and bringing the coaching it develops one aspect to the game, because you're learning maybe how to play as an individual or as a team, but moving abroad, you develop, as you said, it's who you're playing against now, the styles you're playing against. When you play, let's say in England, and I think you comment a lot. You say that when like Barcelona play against the small teams, or whatever, Real Madrid in La Liga, those teams don't set up to defend. They just kind of play, and it's easy to win 4-5-0. But let's say it's a defender who you've gone across now to play in Spain, and you're playing against a small team. You're learning something new now, because whereas when you were in England, all those small teams used to just defend. So you could push up high, you could always be in the opposition area, etc. Whereas now, when you're going abroad now, you're like, well, every team has these technical players who pass it around. Their strikers always staying on me. Their movement is different because the style of play of your opponent is now different. So even if you've learned how to play on the ball because you've got a coach like Pep Guardiola, if you're playing Bournemouth every season and Brighton every season, granted, you get some new teams like Wolves who now play, on the football and that kind of stuff, and they got quality players. But if you're playing the same West Brom, Stoke, you're learning maybe how to only deal with kind of one style of football until you play a Champions League game.
West Brom even in the league anymore?
I know.
It was just an example.
I was so confused.
Harry Kane, for example, has played West Brom for years until they got relegated. So it's like, this is how we play against that team. That's how we play against this opponent. But a lot of the Premier League, and as it is with the any league, they play in a certain way. If you go abroad now, it's like, defenders defend in a certain way. That might even be similar to maybe international football. If you go to Italy, they're a bit much more aggressive. I think you just learn a lot more. But I think whatever age you go, but I think for that reason, I'm happy as far as England goes, that there are more players going abroad at a young age, because obviously it's important to develop now. But I think whatever age, if that opportunity arises, I don't see why you shouldn't just take it. I think it's even just as a person, even in football, just working abroad, it's a completely different culture, a different experience. I don't think you can go abroad and not benefit from it. You can't. Whether someone's coming to England or where going abroad. Unless
it doesn't work for you as a person and you get homesick. There's some people that can't do it, can't physically do it, and they have to come back and stuff. But majority of the time, you're going to learn something new from somewhere else. Even if you look at someone like Paul Pogba, for example, at how young he came to Manchester, to the academy, to go through what he did at Manchester, then to go Juve and to come back to Manchester, and bringing that onto the international stage, where all of his teammates now, you got Kante's over here now, you got other players.
All the players are abroad. Most of them. Not in the same league. In France.
And I think it's benefiting them. It's benefiting the French football.
I think one of the
benefiting French football.
Look at their second and third team. They can be first teams.
I think
just look at France.
I think one of the main, not one of the main, but I think one of the reasons why the English players, they don't go abroad, because I was looking into it some time ago, maybe like 3 years ago, right? And I read somewhere that it's on average, these English players that choose not to go abroad, they can earn somewhere like on average up to like £30,000 more a week on contract. So and obviously if you're 17, 18, 19, 20 and you earn X amount of money, why would you leave? You're sitting comfortably on a nice wage. Like, take for example Ross Barkley, who sat in the Chelsea team for ages doing nothing. Like if he leaves Chelsea, he's nowhere he goes, he's going to earn how much he's earning right now at Chelsea.
But this is why these lot need to be taught that you're gonna be nice whatever you're earning for the rest of your life. For me, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I get money plays a big factor.
You have to really have a player that's really dedicated about football, like people like Ronaldo, Messi. If they're dedicated to the football, then yeah, they'll do that. But they're not really dedicated to the football.
And this is what we need to be doing to our English. We need to be educating them about football and not about the money yourself. And I know agents will be there. Man, I get an agent from 11 now. Like, do you know what I mean? It's mad. Agents will be coming in and I'll be getting you for money. They want you for money. But for me, we need to be educating these guys about football, and if you want to be the best footballer that you can, you need to be focusing on that rather than the money aspect. You will get, but if you make it in professional football, your money is nice no matter what. Right, you might have made an extra 100 grand in a certain year on a certain whatever, but you'll be all right, man. You'll get a car, you'll get a yard, you'll be all right. Do you know what I mean? Your family's good. Just if you listen, just focus on your football. For me, what Sancho and Nelson are doing right now, brilliant. And it's, as an Arsenal fan, I obviously want to see Nelson stay at Arsenal and progress here for the rest of his career, because I think he could be a great player. But if he decides to say, you know what, I've enjoyed my time in Bundesliga and I'm going to go and leave the Premier League to go there, then good for him, bruv. Go and do it. You know, with the Willock Arsenal.
Yeah.
He's got like three of them, the three Willock brothers.
Oh, there's 3 of them?
There's 3 of them, yeah.
Right.
The one that left Arsenal has gone to Benfica. Because he just wanted to go out and do something mad. And as an Arsenal fan, as an Arsenal boy, I said, you know what, go and do it, bruv. Do it. You know, you came up through our academy and now you want to make it somewhere else and learn a different culture, go Benfica. Maybe you might even come back one day when you get to a certain level. Like, go and do it. For me, I encourage everyone to go and do it. And I was actually quite disappointed that Everton didn't let Lookman go. I know Leipzig probably wanted him on a permanent deal and they probably didn't want to sell him. But like, I think
he's not even.
He's not fair. I know he's getting games now. He's coming off the bench, but I don't know if he will make it at Everton, really and truly. And I think, but Leipzig loved him. They loved him there, and I feel I really wanted him to go there. But yeah, we'll have to see, man.
We'll see.